What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode in Car Mechanic Simulator with me, the Virtual Mechanic, and we will get to today's project in just a few minutes. I just wanted to say a big congratulations to Pi Newton for winning our little challenge on Discord. This was my entry van. You can see it here, looking very nice. I'm very happy with how it turned out, but I did not win. I came second to this lovely burgundy red van here, looking absolutely stunning. It's got big rims on it, nice engine swap in there, bench seat in the back. Congratulations once again. A good job on winning. Images are on screen. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you'd have voted for that or if you'd have voted for mine in the comments below. But let's get back into today's video. Today we are working on the G63 AMG, a beautiful little mod car. Absolutely love this one, and for me it had to be a G63 because officially, although it's not on here, that is the twin turbo one. I don't think it's actually going to be a twin turbo engine. Here it is, the G63 AMG. This is the EU variant. Obviously, being from England, this is the one I would get anyway. Lovely car, 581 horsepower base from that AXK engine there. We did get it from the auction house where we got a good deal, actually. You know, just about over profit on that one. Could sell it now and make money. Obviously, that's not what we're going to do. We will have a quick look at the shop, though. We did it in the previous video. There is lots going on for this one. Obviously, we know we want the G63, so we'll be looking for those parts there. Looking pretty cool. There is a lot to this one, so it's going to take me a little while to figure this one out, all the buildable parts there is going on here. Lots to do, but let's get it started, and let's get over to the car wash and get this one cleaned up. Here we are then at the car wash. What colour is the G-Wagon underneath this dust? Wonderful, wonderful dust. Oh, nice steely grey, blue sort of steel. Makes me think of the pose from Zoolander, but never mind. That's quite nice colour, actually. Maybe. We'll see. I'm not sure yet. Let's get the interior done. We'll get it back on the lift, and we'll get that AXK engine ripped out of there, ready to strip down. First off, let's get underneath and check for that beautiful oil pan. It is there. So let's get all of that oil drained out. Nice and easy. Out you come and drain. Very black oil. Very, very black. That definitely needed doing entirely. Let's get this engine ripped out then. And let's start with the drive shaft and then the gearbox. That sits at a hell of an angle. Liking it. Well, nice. Well, nice. Well done. I don't really know what to say there. Obviously, this one is modded in by Payne. That engine sits so high. It is unbelievable. Let's get that starter out there, and then this gearbox off. Out you come. A couple of rusty bolts on this one. Nothing too bad. We should probably get these front exhaust sections off as well, just to be on the safe side. Out you come, and out you come. That's a beast of an engine. We're going to keep that one in there today. I'm not going to swap it for the supercharged one. We will keep it with the AXK. Let's get the truck back on the ground and get that engine ripped out. Hood open, engine out, nice and easy, hopefully. Nice, that's good to see, I like it. Let's have a look what we've got going on in this engine bay. There is quite a bit in here. Obviously, you've got the fuse box there. You've got your air filter there with your radiator and your fan housing cover on there. Lots of liquids to drain. I'll get all of these drained quite simply. Additional tools, a drain tool, click and hold. See you in a second. That's everything drained. Let's start getting it all ripped out. Let's just start with these reservoirs as they are just for holding liquid. There we go. Brake servo out. We get the ECU out, and we will get the ABS module on the wrong side. It felt like there. I don't really know. Off you come, and then we'll get the pump off as well. Out you come. That's it. So let's grab a couple of these hooks on the way past, or clips. Grab out the fan housing and the radiator behind it. Get the rest of the clips. Nice. All four are there. That's always good to see. Off with the cover, out with the filter, out with the base, which I was too quick for. And then it's just a fuse box. So I will get this cleared. Next up, we'll get all the suspension stripped off. We'll have a look what we've got going on and what's missing. Before we do that, then we'll head over to the engine. Engine bay is stripped. Let's check out what we've got going on with the suspension. I think we might have a lot missing. You can already see straight away, obviously, we're missing the brakes. We're missing the back section, the front steering knuckle E-ring on one side. On the other side, we are not missing that piece, luckily, but we are still missing brake calipers, brake discs, brake pads, all of that at the front section here. We have got the steering rack and the inner and outer tie rods. Single shocks, no wishbone suspension on this at all. That's looking pretty tasty. We'll have to get all of that stripped in a bit. Let's head down the back and see what we've got. At least we got brake discs at the back. Looks like that's sort of relatively all complete. We're missing the top shock absorber cap there. Brake pads and brake calipers, obviously. Then we're missing bearings, the suspension, the whole lot of the suspension, and the brake pads again down the back. Oh, and one U-bolt. I missed that one there, hiding. Wonder if we had any missing from the front. I don't think so. No, they look like they're all there. Yes, they are. So I'm going to get all of this stripped. Obviously, we've got to keep in mind that we've got a few bits missing. But let's get it stripped out. Next up, though, we'll get that engine stripped down. Ready to have a look at what's going on in there. That's everything mechanical off of the G-Wagon. Let's go and get that engine stripped down. En route, though, we will throw that battery on charge. Lovely. I've got to remember to pick that one up because that's something I always forget. Lots going on with all the rollers and belts at the front end. And we'll start with this quite simple roller over this side. Is it a belt next? Yes, it is. Let's just work our way down and see what we've got going on. When can we get that belt? After the belt tensioner, which is something I always forget the name of. There we go. Out you come. The rest of this at the front here should be pretty simple. So let's just get this off. There's all of that off. Let's just grab that water pump as well while we're here. And then can we get the cover off? We cannot. We need to go above it. So we'll get the alternator and the power steering pump off as well while we're down here. Then we'll move up to one of these heads and have a look what we've got going on underneath. So obviously you've got the rail cover, then the ignition coils there. Out you come a fuel rail. And then the head, which has got lots of bolts in it. So we'll get this one off. Underneath the head, obviously, we've got two cams in either side on this one with another timing belt there. Obviously, we have to get the other side off before we can get that timing cover off. But we'll get the exhaust manifold off while we are here. Out you come, and we'll grab these spark plugs as well. Is there anything holding these camshafts down, actually? Or are they just loosey-goosey, but can't come off until after all of that? Okay, let's get the other side stripped, get that front cover off, and have a look at them timing belts. There goes the other head. Let's get the timing cover off now. Nice and simple. 4 bolts, one of which is rusty. Obviously had to be. Then we got the 2 belts, one either side. Out you come. And then we can get the cam gears off. And then we should be able to take... Let's get the other cam gears off. Sort of caught me off guard a little bit. Then the camshafts off there. Nice and simple. Grab that oil filter out. Then... What do we have to get? Oh, I see the throttle hiding around the back. I always forget about this throttle. Always throws me off. There we go. Intake manifold off. Then we should be able to get this head off. And then that should be pretty much the end and stripped. We'll get down and have a look at all of the pistons in a moment. I'm going to get the rest of this top end finished, though. Off with the oil pan. Let's have a look at these pistons. Obviously, 4 on either side, as you'd expect from a V8. With 3 camshaft bearing caps and obviously rod caps on the end. And then our quite lovely clutch setup. That's it. That's this beautiful AXK engine. I'm going to get the rest of it stripped, get what I can and get repaired, replace what I need to replace. Next up, though, we'll get the body sorted on the lovely G-Wagon. Time to get that body sorted out. Let's start stripping it all down. Now, I don't know what's on here, so this may take me a little while. That was a good piece. Come off right in one. Nice, nice, nice. Let's grab the door. Hopefully that brings out the window. Obviously it does. Off with the trunk, off with the tail lights. What else have we got here? No windows there. Off with that door, off with that door. Oh, that's part of the bench. Nice. Okay, is that all of it? Let's get the interior out. We'll come back in a second and have a look. Out you come with the seat and the bench. No steering wheel, no other seat. Hopefully that's all of it. Oh, apart from that windscreen. Nearly missed that one. Let's have a look and see if we got everything. 1%. Oh, I want that one. Oh, car part 1E. So where is car part 1E? What are you then? Let's try and figure this out. Found it. Just down here. It's the little badges on the side. Off you come. The AMG and the V8 logo off the side there. That should now be all of it. There we go. Page 1. Nothing left. 1%. Let's get this frame all sorted now. Over you come. What do we reckon? 2,500. 900. I was way off. Way off. Not even close today. Let's get all that frame sorted. I'm going to repair some of these parts. Then we're going to buy some more. Then we'll get all of this body back together and head over to the paint shop. Right then, let's get this body back together. In fact, let's start with the interior. Let's get the seats back in while it's still open. I did just keep it the original interior, all the original seats and steering wheel in there. Still looks pretty nice though, quite happy with that. But let's get all this bodywork back on. Let's just go through some bits. I went for the no badge hood. I also went for the AMG front end with the black logo on there. Let's go for the front bumper. Black trim on the front bumper, and then no trim on an extra wide down the side there. Looking pretty sweet. Just went with these headlights. I was not sure which ones to go with at all. Shouldn't have put them on until I put the fender on, but never mind. Yeah, now it's broken it. You see, that happens. You have to then take off a blank headlight and then put back in the real headlight. Don't put the headlights in before the fenders. There's a slight little bug with this one. Nothing too serious, very easy fix. Then obviously down the side, we got the no trim doors all the way down, looking pretty good. Get the windows in. Rear right fender, extra wide, no trim, black step, looking pretty sweet. And obviously I went for, get onto there, the black badges basically on them ones, nice and simple. Rear bumper, just went for bumper D, bit of a downside on that one. Not downside like that, but a bit of a scoop underneath, should we say. The rear trunk, I went for black badges on there, just looking pretty sweet, all blacked out. Get the windows in, on you go, window in. Same down the other side, obviously the same as the front. No trim, black step, things like that. Wing mirrors, I went for the carbon mirrors on this one, and there is a reason for that. I've just noticed I missed a window, but we'll go on. For the windscreen, I put it with the Hammond wing, because why not? This bit is a carbon fibre at the top, looking pretty sweet, with a nice little wing sticking out over the back there. In with the final window, on with the plates. I went for some carbon plates, because I've got carbon fibre everywhere else, and they say VM G63 AMG. Very hard to see it in the carbon plates. Not the same carbon as the rest of the vehicle. Nearly missed the front plate there. That is all of the bodywork done on the beautiful AMG G63. Thinking it looks absolutely lovely. Can't wait to get this one over to the paint shop. Let's just make sure that's all up to 100% nice. Just the parts to go back on it. But let's head over to the paint shop, pick a beautiful colour, and see if Payne has added in any liveries. I've just gone for a silver real quick while we just check out, see if there is any liveries. Let's have a look. Number one. That literally just changed the roof. There we go. We can put a black roof on it. Probably will have that just because that might look pretty sweet, but it depends on which colour we go for. That is the only thing. Not bad though for Payne. He doesn't normally add liveries like that. Normally French Toast does his liveries for him, but at least there is one. I'm going to get on now, pick which colour we're going to have for this. Let's have a look at some of the factory colours. You've got a lot of options in there, although that red's pretty tasty. Or maybe... No, I'm not going for the red. Let's see. I will have a play around, see which colour I like, and I'll meet you back here in a minute when I've decided, and we've got a rough plan for what we're going to do with the suspension and engine. See you in a bit. This is what I've gone for, this lovely sort of lightish metallic blue with the black accents, looking pretty sweet. Bit of carbon fibre on there as well. Has given me a great plan, and also the plates look so much better in the paint shop. Don't know why that is, but that's given me a great plan. I'm liking this blue. I'm liking the black. We're probably just going to black most things out with a few splashes of blue in there, such as the engine heads on either side. Get the blue in there. We may keep that a centerpiece there in the chrome. We're not sure yet. Don't know. As for the suspension and stuff, probably am just going to black all of that out with a couple of blues in there, such as on the brake calipers on the suspension, things like that. Going to keep this one pretty basic. It looks pretty sweet as it is, though. So let's head over. Let's start getting some bits painted for this one. And next time you'll see it, it'll be on the lift. And we'll be ready to go in with all that lovely suspension. One thing that I still see popping up all the time is how to paint parts in this wonderful game. As you can see, I'm here in the paint shop. I have no car with me. I'm just going to go up to the usable items. Doesn't matter which one you use. And then you can click on the bottom. Go to the top for paint car, the bottom for paint part. And then every loose part you've got in here that can be painted shows up in here ready for you to paint. I'm going to go for my brake calipers. Obviously, we're going to try and match that blue. It's a little dark, and I know it is because it always happens. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring the brightness up to 100 from 80. That should paint pretty sweet on there for the brake caliper. Should match the body pretty close. Maybe not 100%, but very, very close. You can see the differences in the two. That's the one I'll predominantly be using for everything else. only the brake calipers go on with the lighter colour. There we go. Nice and simple. You come out, you come back in, you go again. I'm going to go for another brake caliper just because I'll get them all done. And that's how you paint parts. Very, very simple. I'll meet you back by the car in a minute when I've got all of this painted. See you in a second. Let's start getting all of this back together then. Let's put the shocks back together. Shocks are in a metallic black. The springs are in that lovely metallic blue. Looking pretty stunning. And in fact, while I'm here, I'm going to grab my battery so that I don't forget it when we do the engine bay in a few moments. Let's get on and get some of this together. I've put the steering rack and the outer tie rods on. Inner tie rods. The tie rods on. The main axle there in the lovely metallic black, looking pretty sweet. The shocks go here on there with the black and the blue, looking pretty nice. Let's get a few of these bits on. This is a weird one. I've not built a front end that looks like this. On with the rubber bushing, in you go. It is pretty much all blacked out, though. I mean, I say pretty much. It is all blacked out. Even the U-bolts are in black on this one. Looking pretty mean. It's just solid out in black. Look as mean as it can. That bit can't be painted, and then the back piece of this also can't be painted. I like that assembly, though. It is pretty sweet. I've only worked with it once before. On with the hub. Then we got the outer tie rod. Get it the right way around this time. Front drive axle on there. Then we've got the ventilated brake disc for performance power. For performance stopping, at least, anyway. And then the brake caliper in the light blue. Looking pretty good next to that spring. Get off of there a second. Let's step away. Is a little bit lighter than the truck. Not too much, though. I'm pretty happy with it. I will leave it like that. That is the front end suspension for one side set up. So let's get down the back. Use that muffler as a way down there. And let's get the rear end set up. Again, it is almost identical color-wise. It is all blacked out with a few little splashes of blue in there. So let's get some of this all together so we can see how it looks for the final product. When it'll be done, let's get on with you. A couple of more U-bolts, all in black, just blacked out, making it look mean and nasty. We got the spring cap in the black, and then we got the rear spring in that blue again with the shock absorber cap on top of it. Knuckle, hub, drive axle. On you go, on you go, on you go, on you go. Then we got the brake disc, ventilated for performance stopping, brake pads, and then that lovely caliper in the blue there. Again, a very good match onto the spring at the backside there. Looking pretty tasty. I've got the other side to finish. Let's step away and take a quick look, though. That's looking pretty tasty. I'm feeling some black rims on this one. I'm not 100% sure, though. We may go extra big. We know we need to widen them out to fill out them arches later, but that's not coming until later. I'm going to get on and get the other side of this suspension all together before we go and sort out everything in this beautiful little engine bay. So I will see you guys back here in just a few moments when I've got all of this on. We'll take another look at it all together, and then we'll get that engine bay sorted out. I'll see you in a minute. There's all the finished suspension, looking pretty good. Just blacked out, looking mean and nasty with a few splashes of the blue on there just for effect. But that's not what we're here for now. We need to get this engine bay sorted out. So let's start filling out with some of this stuff. Let's get the ECU in and all these reservoirs in. Everything like that. On you go, on you go, on you go. Fan housing on there as well. Ideal. Let's get the ABS pump and module in, even though it's back to front. But never mind. On with the ABS module. There you go. Get your screws in there. On you go. Let's get the air filter base. Now, this is painted black, just to keep the engine bay looking pretty tidy. I'll show you in a minute. The inside of this engine bay is pretty blue, but I have put some blue clips on this one there just to sort of keep in touch with my two-tone sort of color scheme I've got going on. On you go, on you go. That's nice and simple. Last bit to go in is the fuse box. And obviously my battery, which I remembered. Yay, go me. So the fuse box is itself, again, painted in the metallic black, but it does sit under the dash, not even in the engine bay, so it really wouldn't have mattered. That's it for the engine bay, all finished off. I've got to get the internals of this fuse box finished out in a second. Then we're going to go and build that shiny, shiny new engine with a bit of colour on there as well. It is mostly blacked out, with a few splashes of blue on there just for good measure. I see you over there in just a minute. We'll get that one built up, and then this car will be on its way to being finished. I've got the block in, the pistons in, the oil pan in, and obviously all the clutch setup already in there. All in that metallic black, looking pretty tasty. But let's get a few of these bits on. Now, I haven't painted any of the ancillary, the alternator, the power steering pump. I thought I'd leave it just in its chrome to reflect off of the engine heads, which don't paint on the outside. Now, they're not quite as shiny on the outside, but obviously I have painted them black, but they only show up on the inside there. Looking pretty good, though. We've got to get the rest of this all together before we can make a decision of how good it looks. So far, though, I'm liking it. I'll get a few of these inner bits all filled in, looking pretty nice, and then we'll come back when we can throw a bit more colour onto this beautiful AXK engine. Camshafts and spark plugs are all in now. Let's get the exhaust manifold on. I've already done the other side. On you go in your chromy goodness. Can't forget the oil filter. I did paint it black just because I didn't like the yellow on there. If it was red, it probably would have stayed. Both timing chains, timing belts are now on. Let's get this intake manifold in. This wouldn't let me paint. It wouldn't show up at all, so it just stays in its chromy goodness. I've got to remember to go back and do that throttle, so I'll just do it now. Again, this one does show up in the paint shop, but it doesn't allow you to actually paint it. Let's get the timing cover on. I have done that in the blue just for a bit of extra colour on this one because there isn't too much underneath here. I'll get in and get all of this all filled in for you so you don't have to sit and watch me throw loads of rollers on. All of the rollers on. Let's get some of these belts in again. I never painted the belt tensioner just to keep it a bit more originality at the front there. On with the last belt and on with the very last roller. In you go. Let's get these heads sorted out. Now, these head covers start red and they don't accept the blue very well, so they just had to go black. I really wanted to do them blue, but it just wasn't working. It didn't look very good at all, so I've just left them in the black. But I have done the coil covers on here in a lovely blue, so we'll see them in just a second. On you go, and on you go. Coil covers, there you go, in the blue, looking pretty tasty. I also did the fuel rails in blue as well to keep a bit more blue at the top end of this engine, but the rest of it is black and original colour. I'm going to get on and get this finished, then we'll get it dropped in the G63. We'll almost be done. We've just got the gearbox, drive shafts, and some lovely wheels to go. I'll see you in just a minute. All finished, black and blue engine with a tiny splash of red there on the fuel filter, but never mind. Looking pretty tasty. Let's get you dropped. Wrong button. Let's get you dropped in the beautiful G63. Over you come. Let's get you in and have a look what this looks like. Hopefully it's going to look pretty tasty. I'm not sure though. Let's have a go. That's actually not bad. The blue in the engine bay is a little light, but we've got some lighter bits on the top there. That's looking pretty sweet. Quite happy with that. Yes, let's get it up in the air. Let's get the gearbox and the starter in, and we'll start making our way to getting this one finished. Up you go. Where can I get in? There we go. Nice little spot there. In we go with the gearbox. I have just blacked it out. Keep with the theme. Keep with the theme. On you go. Let's get the little starter in. I didn't even paint the starter. Most of the ancillary bits aren't painted on this one anyway. Drive shaft in, the big long one. It has got a secondary drive shaft that does come up to here, which I'm assuming is meant to relate to four-wheel drive. Sadly, it doesn't quite match up. Same with the exhausts here. They don't quite match up either. But sometimes you've got to cut some corners to get a vehicle finished to be able to get it out there for people to play around with. That's pretty much that. I'm going to get these wheels on. They're going to be black. Black, blue. This is the color combination of this one. And maybe a two-tone. We will see. Looking pretty sweet. I'm going to get on and get all of these liquids filled up. I don't need to change that. Then we'll get the wheels done. Windows tinted, and this one will be outside to see in the sun. Here we are then with the finished G63 AMG in this lovely metallic blue with all the black accents, all the black trim work, looking absolutely lovely. The black step there. Black trim on the bumper, looking pretty cool with some carbon fiber elements. Absolutely fantastic. Would just like to say another very well done to Payne. Link in the description below. Go and grab this one from the Steam Workshop. It's a lot of fun to play around with. There are a lot of different variations that you can play around with. This, I've gone for the extra wide AMG version on this one today. Looking pretty fantastic. Took me a little while to get these wheels all set up. I went for the rims 21A. Painted in a metallic black. They are two-tone black anyway. They are ET 100. So 100 ET on this to get it as far out to the edge of this rim as you possibly can. 305 width, so they're quite wide anyway, with a 40 profile, and they are 24-inch to look like that. That is the same all four. They're looking pretty sweet. I'm very happy with how this turned out. It makes this car look absolutely stunning. They are on race tires instead of slicks. Might be a bad idea. We'll find out when we go to the track a bit later on. I might swap them out for slicks just to get a good speed down the track if I need to. Let's jump in this one, check out the interior, and see what it sounds like. Looking pretty snazzy in here. Very well done to Payne again. Let's get it started and see what this one sounds like. Very mean rumble there from the ticking over. Absolutely incredible. Let's give it some gas. Definitely sounds very mean. I was hoping for a bit more of a whine, but still pretty sweet. Let's get it on the dyno and see how much power we've managed to add. Here we are then on the dyno with the G63 with the V8 AXK engine, 581 base horsepower. How much have we squeezed out of this one today? Hopefully quite a bit. Let's have a look. 486 horsepower, a gain of 84%. I'm quite pleased with that. Bringing our total up to 1,066. That's pretty good from a big four-wheel drive. It's technically sort of off-roader. Let's have a look at the gearbox tuning setup for this one today. Over we go. Let's have a look in here. This is what I've gone for. 2.85 ratio, 120 in first gear, then a nice curve out all the way up to 999 kilometers an hour effectively. Whether we'll get there, though, is a different story. Let's head over to the track and see what it does get to. Here we are then on the track with the 1,066 horsepower G63 AMG. Only got race tires on it. Let's see if we can keep the track. Let's go. Pretty good off the line. I was expecting a lot worse from that, I'm not going to lie. Steaming down through 200 kilometers an hour already. Where are we going to end up to by the end of this run? Heading towards 300. There it is, 300 kilometers an hour. Fifth gear. Will we make it to 400? I don't think we should in an AMG, in a G63 G-Wagon, but come on. If we can get to 400, that would be incredible. I don't think we're going to. Where are we going to stop? 382 kilometers an hour from the G63. That's pretty good. So here we are then with the finished G63 AMG Mercedes-Benz, looking stunning in this metallic blue with all of the black accents. Absolutely fantastic. Great job by Payne. As I said before, go and grab this one from the Steam Workshop. There is a link in the description below, so you can go and grab it. Have some fun with this one, because it is great fun. 382 kilometers an hour as well. It's also quick. Pits it 40th in our speederboard out of 89 Car Mechanic Simulator vehicles. That's pretty insane. More than halfway, better than halfway. So absolutely incredible. Very, very happy with this. Looks absolutely fantastic. Drives absolutely fantastic. And is just a lot of fun to play around with. I love this one, and I think I've done justice on that engine. It looks absolutely incredible in the blue black with some of the chrome elements poking up through there. Really, really happy with this one. It looks absolutely great. Let's jump into some facts and figures about this one, though. You saw at the beginning that I bought the car for $29,559, and I did all right. You know, I could have sold it there and then and made a tiny little bit of profit. But I have since then spent $81,482 on buying all the parts, modifying everything today. I did spend a little bit more than you had to. I did buy all of the side pieces with black trim and then change them all back out again to normal ones. I bought the normal wing mirrors, changed them out to the carbon ones. I bought 2 of the windscreens, I think. A few different bits like that. And obviously the rims, I bought so many rims to try and get that ET to the right size, or as close as I could get it. So now you know the rim size. ET 100, width 305, 40 profile, and 24-inch rims. You won't have to make that same mistake. And obviously the rest of it's just personal preference. But still, total spend on this one is $111,041. Quite a lot spent on it, really. Let's see how much we can sell this one for, though. It's jumping. 103,000 kilometers. We got it from the auction, and we did get a good deal. We've already seen that. Now with 1,066 horsepower from the AXK engine. Absolutely incredible. We could have swapped it to the supercharged, but I didn't want to make it too powerful. Wanted it to be a bit more reasonable. But what can we sell it for? 152,226 minus our 111,041. pits our profits at 41,185. And I'm quite happy with that. 41,000 profits, pretty good. Let's get it sold. We'll bring our total back up. Just under 18 million now. Let's go see what we've got for the next one. This is the Porsche 997 911 GT2 RS, modded in by Lit. This one is absolutely insane. I've been looking forward to this one for a long time. Look at that red interior, looking so cool. This one is a very, very, very dirty, though. Let's just jump into the shop and see what sort of bits we've got to play around with this one. Only 2 pages. Nice and simple. It makes me a bit happier for the next video. But quite a few different options, a few different GT bumpers, GT wings, things like that. GT doors as well. Along with some fenders, some headlights, some rear bumpers, and some spoilery bits there. Looking pretty sweet. I'm looking forward to getting stuck into this one on Wednesday. I'd just like to once again say a big well done to Payne AKA for winning our little Discord competition, designing the best van. You did an excellent job. It did look fantastic. Congratulations again. I hope you all did have a wonderful weekend. I hope you did enjoy this video. If you did, please consider liking, subscribing, and all of that good stuff that you would normally do. Thank you so much for watching. As always, I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.